presentation that outlines our vision for aviation that speaks specifically to what we intend to achieve over the course of this next fiscal year, and in some instances a calendar year, because we are really looking at how we take our plans, and that came out of our 2023 launch of the National Aviation Strategic Plan. Many of you were in the room when we announced that this was at least a 3-year plan that sought to bring focused attention to the overall oversight of aviation. What we would have done to make sure that there is a tactical approach. We have taken bite-sized components of this plan, and each year we seek to roll out a strategy for that particular calendar year. And so in January of this year, we launched our 2024 Focus Vision. And we extracted 5 of the big-ticket items, the big-ticket strategic items contained in the overall National Aviation Strategic Plan. And then we cascaded this and delved into what this plan will look like tangibly. And we identified 5 tactical areas of focus. Each of them were supported by 5 supporting components or smaller ticket items. So this year, we are focused on 25 things that we seek to achieve in aviation. We believe, ladies and gentlemen, that this consolidated approach will guide our journey over the course of this calendar year. So as we go throughout this presentation, you will hear us speak to several committees that have been formed and ratified again by the senior leadership in aviation. If you want to learn more about the 3-year strategic plan that was launched in 2023, I invite you at this time to take your, I wouldn't say your hands, I'm not in church, but take your phones, put your camera on, and point it towards the screen. And you will see that when you do that, it will take you into the world of aviation and take you directly into the Department of Aviation's website. So take a moment and do that. And on that website would outline the 3-year strategic plan, and also the presentation you're hearing today is also now available on your mobile devices as we begin to leverage technology. So take a minute and scan that QR code, and you should be able to see the 3-year strategy. You will also be able to sign up for our newsletter, and also sign up to be a part of our social media initiative. Our social media handles, including YouTube, as we stream today for the first time on YouTube. The Department of Aviation's YouTube channel has been launched this morning. And we have been joined by 16 of our manned airports throughout the Bahamas. We are joined again by persons from Qatar coming in live, in Saudi Arabia, and Atlanta, throughout the US of A, and they're joining us from the United Kingdom and from Canada. So please give a thunderous welcome to all persons joining us this morning virtually through the social media handles and our YouTube stations. Of course, our colleagues from tourism, investments in aviation, who are all a part of our ecosystem. So ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 big ticket items that we seek to achieve this year. The first thing that we are focused on doing is actually improving our airport infrastructure development. Secondly, we are focused on enhancing human capital development. The third thing that we are doing this year in terms of a focused attention is how do we enhance strategic partnership engagement. Fourthly, how do we increase and innovate airlift connectivity. And the fifth thing that ranks up among our priorities in this year is how do we improve operational efficiency and financial resilience. So when we speak about airport infrastructure, we want to give you a progress report, and the minister would have said some things in his remarks. All of us know that our Deputy Prime Minister has very passionately spoken about the state of our airport infrastructure and the focus we are giving to improving all of our airports across our family islands. Many of you are familiar again with the launch of our RFP just last year for the 14 airports in our family islands. And prior to that, we spoke about the development of the Grand Bahama International Airport. But since we last met, ladies and gentlemen, and what we are focused on doing this year is you will see that there will be significant improvements and work being done tangibly to the Bimini Airport. Bimini has long awaited a new airport, and you will see in Captain Roberts that they signed a $40 million contract for a new Bimini Airport, and next quarter, you will find out that Bimini will get a brand new fire truck, and you will see infrastructural work tangibly coming out of the ground in Bimini. You will also see this year that we will be commencing new terminal construction in New Bight Airport. This past week, you saw the Prime Minister there overseeing, again, the airport infrastructure in New Bight. You will see Exuma Airport will be getting infrastructural improvements this year tangibly. Honorable Minister just led a delegation into Exuma last week and has a progress report that speaks to us beginning work this year in Exuma. You will see us advancing work in North Eleuthera and Grand Bahama International Airport. The Deputy Prime Minister just 2 weeks ago announced that in the next 30 days, you will see demolition again to the Grand Bahama International Airport, the U.S. terminal. You will also see, ladies and gentlemen, improvements taking place in Arthurstown and Governors Harbor terminals. Just a few weeks ago, we were able to welcome a brand new American Airlines service direct from Governors Harbor from Miami, and they will welcome into a new terminal in Governors Harbor. In addition to the landside improvements, you will see that there will be significant work to improving the airside improvements in Arthurstown, in Governors Harbor, the apron and the taxiways. This year we expect to complete at least 60% of improvements again to Exuma International Airport, and that again comes through a loan funding support from the IDB, and Lynn Soul, the IDB country head, is with us this morning. You will also see us this year finalizing plans and approving them to construct airports and addressing Treasure Key airports, and Rock Sound, and Andros, Maguana, as the Honorable Minister said, San Salvador, and he threw in there Inagua. So this year you will see aggressive improvements to our airports, and this is not a comprehensive list, because as the needs arise, you will find that attention is going to be given to addressing the state of our airport infrastructure. And this speaks again about the imperative for us to always be involved in continuous site inspections and audits of not just our family island airports, but the Lyndon Pinling International Airports and also the Grand Bahama International Airport. I pause at this time to applaud the leadership of the Airport Authority, Chairman Bevans, and we have CEO Stevenson and Nico Davis, who day and night are tormented by us about identifying and addressing the state of our airport infrastructure. So once again, let's thank those who are continuously auditing the airport infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce at this time the formation of the Airports Project Execution Unit. This is our year, not just to talk. This is our year of execution, this is our year of acceleration, and this is our year to get things done. So the Deputy Prime Minister has kindly consented that we form and mobilize today and announce our Airport Projects Execution Unit. The core team members with oversight for airport projects, executing them, would be, of course, the Honorable Minister of State Basil McIntosh. Please stand again, Minister. I'm pleased to join that team. Candida Ferguson, Department of Aviation, please stand. Mr. Lambert Knowles, Conway Smith, our Director of Works and or his designate, Kevin Ortles from the Freeport Airport Development. We have, again, Lynn Soul from the IDB. Please stand, Lynn. IDB has been very much involved again in driving these airport projects. Jasmine Agib, who is in the UK, and DeMarco Smith from the Department of Aviation. Please once again clap for our Airport Project Execution Unit. Thank you very much. I've been advised that if they don't execute, they probably will be executed. So we have great work to do, and I'm very confident that we will deliver when it comes to our physical infrastructure. But equal to the development of our physical infrastructure, it is our commitment to put people first. How do we enhance human capital development? So, ladies and gentlemen, over this year, you will see us aggressively placing a focus on the development of people. People as a priority even over projects. Many of you are aware that we officially launched, a soft launch, the Bahamas Aeronautical Academy. You're familiar again that this academy has been charged with the management of talent, emerging and existing talent, so that we are able to leverage and position the many persons who work in our aviation ecosystem, and through the development of human capital, take aviation to the next level. You will hear more about the Aeronautical Academy in the months ahead as we look forward aggressively to a launch, official launch, and full implementation to align with the new calendar year. But beyond that, we are very pleased that we are launching the Aviation Cadets Program. The same way that there is junior achievement programs in schools and technical cadet, for the first time in our history, you'll find out that in many of our high schools, there will be aviation cadets in our high schools. I'm pleased today to be joining us in this room are students from our pilot aviation cadet, the students from CV Bethel Aviation Pilot Program. Please stand at this time. We're not just talking it. So CV Bethel, along with several other schools in Nassau, in Exuma, in Long Island, who has an aviation club also, and in Grand Bahama, will form a part of this first cluster of our aviation cadet program. We are very excited to welcome again CV Bethel on board. You are very familiar, ladies and gentlemen, that the Deputy Prime Minister also announced that we have formed a relationship with Qatar Aeronautical Academy. And as we speak this morning, we are pleased that joining us live from Qatar are two of our students who are studying in Qatar, Brittany Ford and Asia Thurston. Please welcome them at this time. It is our intention to ensure that many more students also benefit from receiving aviation-focused scholarships. This year, we hope and intend to send at least 5 MOUs with tertiary institutions with a focus on technical, professional, and personal development of both existing and emerging aviators. So joining us live is a representative from Embry-Riddle University right now on our call. And we also have persons joining us from Middle Tennessee State University, 2 of the universities we have targeted again for aviation development. I'm also very pleased to welcome Erica Morris, who is here. Stand, Erica. Erica, again, has been identified to work with the Department of Aviation. And Erica's job is to go into the highways and the byways, into our family islands and Nassau, and find every student interested in pursuing aviation and finding ways to get them into universities. Erica just returned from Long Island and from Exuma and from Abaco and was going into Eleuthera. And she is going to many more of our family islands, ensuring that persons interested in aviation are given the opportunity to really pursue their wings. Once again, Erica, I thank you again for your incredible contribution. I'm extremely excited, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to human capital development, to also speak to the launch of our first ever Aviation Center for Excellence. This Center for Excellence will again focus on our existing and our emerging leadership development. We're going to speak about succession planning. We're going to speak about equipping persons with the tools to become more successful, again, and take them to the next level in their leadership development. This particular roundtable or aviation center will have a mentorship component where we will look at the persons who paved the way in aviation, and they will show the new generation of aviators what excellence really looks like. So I'm pleased again to announce that we have established what I call the REAP, the Retired Aviation Professionals Association. So we have some persons in this room today. We all know them. Aviation owes them a great debt of gratitude. And this group of retirees, we're going to focus on them and highlight them, and they're going to show the new ones what the old school ones did to make aviation a picture of success. So please welcome Wilfred Sloopy Williams. Please stand. Captain Augustine Roberts. Mr. Frank Carter. Everybody knows Frank Carter. We owe them a debt of gratitude, and we also invite Mrs. Wendy Major, the first ever female air traffic controllers. Once again, these core persons would really form our retired Association of Aviation Professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely excited about the role that women play in aviation. And our focus in this 2024 calendar year is how do we advance their role and support women in aviation by establishing our Women in Aviation Network. I'm extremely pleased that we have women in aviation who are not just breaking barriers, but making history. So we have a female woman in aviation, the head of our AOC, Elaine Foster. Please stand, Elaine, in the back there. We have a woman in charge of all of the legacy carriers. I announce a woman in charge of Bahamas here, Tanya Pratt. Please stand. We have the CEO and president of Western Air, a young woman. Please stand, Rexy Roll. Of course, we have John. We have John here also. We have both John and Vernice again heading Nassau Airport Development Company. We're very proud of the women in aviation, the chairman again of FAV, the chairman again of Banser. And so you will find that this month, moving towards the month of May, there is going to be a series on ZNS, and I'm sure Eyewitness News and cable, but on JCM will follow also. That's really going to focus again on the role women play in aviation. We are going to be supporting all of our women in aviation. So we are proud again that in our cluster of students from CV Bethel, we have a young female who is going to be the next women air traffic controllers. And so during our summer camp, you'll find us announcing the Wendy Major Grant for a female interested in air traffic control. And I got a feeling that somebody from CV Bethel might be the recipient again of that grant. Ladies and gentlemen, we are serious about enhancing and developing human capital. And that is why we have assembled the Aviation Human Capital Development Committee. Deputy Permanent Secretary Christine Green will be a part of that committee. The HR head, Helene Ferguson of Banser, now you know Helene, will be a part of that committee. Airport Authority, Sigvega Popel. The training manager for Bahamas Air. Operations head again for Freeport Airport Development, Wendy Haller. Siobhan Herburn, Director, Department of Aviation. John Knowles, VP of NAD, or her designate. We have the head of HR for Nassau Flight Services, Zelda Evans from Odyssey, Krishna Roll from British Airways, an AUC representative, and the union representatives from all of our 3 affiliate unions will be charged and tasked with developing human capital in this calendar year. Give them a round of applause for an exceptional job that they will be doing. And so you will discover that in October, during our 2nd annual Aviation Week, we will be having our first ever Aviation Stars Award. This, again, would be an opportunity for us to recognize, to celebrate, and reward all persons making a mark in aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are committed again to providing training whenever there are opportunities that we are exposed to. And so I'm pleased to have 3 valedictorians, recently graduated valedictorians from the Airport Authority. Not just 1, not just 2, but they were so great, 3. So please stand at this time. Mr. Tyler Bethel, valedictorian, Airport Authority. Celeste Roberts and Shadasa Ambrister, 3 persons, 2 are females. The top in the Airport Authority recently cluster for screeners. We are also graduating Airport Authority screeners in Exuma, in Eleuthera, in addition to Nassau. They are placed throughout our family islands. We're very proud of you. Congratulations once again. I'm pleased also to announce this morning, as a part of our training initiatives, you sometimes hear them speaking about our national airline. When things go bad, we sometimes plaster the images over social media. What I want you to plaster this morning. I want again 4 of our national airline cabin attendants to please stand at this time, led by the in-flight manager, Debbie Mackenzie Lightburn. You all focus on them. They look good, they're pretty, they're smiling, they're professional. And I'm pleased to announce that through the Bahamas Aeronautical Academy, and again support from the industry training of the Ministry of Tourism, we are going to be launching an aggressive service excellence training for Bahamas Air flight attendants. And the chairman of Bahamas Air and the management director said to me, why stop there? Why should you limit yourselves only to cabin attendants? So we are going to be providing frontline training for all of the persons on the front line in our national flag carrier. Thank you very much, Debbie and your team, for making this happen. We are serious about developing human capital. And I'm certain that the president and the CEO of Western Air, who is a part of this committee, would ensure that we do the same thing with Western Air. And I'm sure Dr. Howard will make sure that all of our airlines are receiving at no cost to them training when it comes to service deliverables. We are serious about developing human capital. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that this summer we would host our first ever aviation summer camp. We're going to be very focused on this. We want to be able to identify students from the middle school, the junior schools, into the high schools, and bring them into the environment where we begin to know who the next generation of aviators are and give them tools to become successful. So during this first ever aviation summer camp, we will be announcing an award for the most outstanding participant in the summer camp. And I'm very pleased that after having a conversation with his wife and his son, that we are going to be hosting and honoring the memory of the late Captain Baron Ferguson. And we will be awarding a young person, the first ever, the late Captain Baron Ferguson Outstanding Participant Award. You heard us speak about having a heart for aviation. And so a part of our human capital development is going to speak about what we call aviation cares. You will hear us looking at a community initiative that speaks to the heart of the aviation ecosystem being in a very tangible way demonstrated and seen throughout the length and the breadth of our country. Not only is tourism everybody's business, but tourism and aviation is everybody's business. So our aviation stakeholders are going to be at the forefront in our communities, demonstrating tangibly how we care for persons who might be less fortunate, and it's going to be driven again by those of us who are part of the aviation ecosystem. Therese Stirrup, who works in the Department of Aviation, a former Miss Bahamas, a winner, former Miss Bahamas, is going to be spearheading this. So let's thank you in advance again for the work she's going to be doing with women in aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move now towards our third and begin to wind down what we are focusing on in aviation, you'll find that we are going to be leveraging partnerships this year. And so this year, we have appointed an Aviation Advisory Council. We're going to be launching our Aviation Ambassadors Initiative. This Aviation Council is going to contribute to, provide support around the advancement of aviation and airlift, all matters, collaboratively, especially around innovations, the expansion of airlift, partnerships, policies, legislative reform. So I'm pleased to announce today that members of this Aviation and Airlift Advisory Committee will comprise the president of the chair of our Air Operators Committee, Elaine Ferguson, NAD through Vernice Walken, the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, Mr. Kerry Fountain. Please stand, Kerry. Kerry, we're going to give you a voice at the table because I know family islands matter. The Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board, in the absence, the president of the board, CEO, has asked me and given consent, Chairman Joy Jibrelu. The Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board, Mr. Ian Roll, the acting chairman. The Ministry of Tourism, Director General Latia Duncombe, and Giovanni Grant, Director of Airlift again, have the privilege of working with Giovanni, will be a part of this particular committee. Bahamas Association of Air Transportation Operators, our domestic carriers, Dr. Anthony Hamilton, Susan Patous, please stand, Sue, and Anthony, Captain Pat Roll, legendary Captain Pat Roll, Ronnie Stevenson from Airport Authority, please stand again, Ronnie. We have the Civil Aviation Authority, Director General, Bahamas Air, Tracy Cooper, our private sector, Dr. Harold Munnings, and Mr. Andrew Malone, Commander Byrne Wright, Port Controller, Captain Paul Aroner, President of the Pilots Union, and also in our presence, our distinguished aviation lawyer, Mr. Keith Major, please stand, Keith also, and also the Assistant Director of Legal Affairs in the Office of the Attorney General, Ms. Chantel Taylor. Please stand if you're here, Chantel. I know you're joining us virtually. These persons would form a part of our Aviation Airlift Advisory Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, this year when it comes to strategic partnership and engagement, we intend to host Latin American conferences and others in Nassau this year. Next, we'll host the first ever Routes America conference right here in Nassau. We'll host this year an annual and our first ever Aviation Leaders and Managers Retreat, where we are all on the same page. We'll launch again community and communication initiatives. You will see us in a more tangible and aggressive way in the public domain through publications, both in the print and the electronic media. You will see us speak about launching, promoting our social media handles. I already announced the launch of our Aviation Cares initiative. You will hear us speaking about charitable initiatives, but you will hear us speaking about how we take care of our own to the establishment of our Aviation Crisis Response Team. Things happen in aviation. We don't have the luxury, if there is an incident or an accident, of us not responding to persons who might be grieved or traumatized when there is an incident involving our aviation colleagues. And so I am very pleased that we have established again what we are now calling our Aviation Crisis Response Team. We've invited Captain Patrick Huderol, Pastor Captain Patrick Roll, Father James Palacios, Pastor Percy King, Air Traffic Controller, Mr. Plato Thompson, NFS, Ms. Tanya Pratt, Chairman of Bahamas Air, who is also, again, I believe, an ordained minister. And we'll also have a trained psychologist joining to make sure that when something happens in aviation, our team stands ready and at the forefront to put their hands around persons and to ensure that they rebound to a state of some normalcy. I think that itself deserves a round of applause. Our last component of this enhancing strategic partnership engagement focus, ladies and gentlemen, is how do we partner with local and international agencies to establish a sustainable aviation strategy. Our Prime Minister has been at the forefront speaking about sustainability, a move towards carbon neutrality. So I'm pleased today that we are able to announce the appointment of a Sustainable Aviation Committee responsible for driving aviation sustainable goals and exploring grant support as we move towards carbon neutrality. Members include Candida Ferguson, Department of Aviation, Captain Paul Arena, hope that he will consent. We're inviting Crystal Bethel, the Minister of Tourism, Ahmad Williams, Minister of Tourism, Lakeisha Anderson Roll, Executive Chairman of the Bahamas National Trust, joining us again this morning virtually. Director of the Department of Environmental Planning, Protection, representatives again from the Office of the Attorney General, Kyle Fowler from the Department of Aviation, and we are very pleased that the IDB has consented to also helping us to drive our sustainable aviation goals this year. Thank you very much for consenting to serve. I move, ladies and gentlemen, to the topic of airlift and our goal of increasing airlift connectivity, not just in Nassau, Paradise Island, but how do we, first of all, grow year over year overall foreign air stopover arrivals to Nassau, Paradise Island by at least 10% over 2023 numbers. 2023, our Deputy Prime Minister has made it clear many times, has been a banner year for tourism. It's been a banner year for aviation. Aviation is significant because air stopover arrivals contribute sustainably towards our economy by placing butts in seats, heads in beds, and money into the pockets of our local entrepreneurs and stakeholders. And yes, Kerry, this should be the focus of Ministry of Tourism, Investments, and Aviation. How do we ensure that those on the front line, those who are part of our wider community, feel the impact of tourism? And again, it comes to driving stopover arrivals. Butts in seats, heads in beds, money into the pockets of local entrepreneurs and stakeholders. So our goal is to grow year-over-year arrivals in Nassau, Paradise Island by at least 10% over 2023 figures. We're partnering with our promotion boards and the Bahamas Hotel Tourism Associations. We're partnering with our FBOs, Jet, Nassau, Odyssey, and other industry partners. But our growth is not limited just to Nassau. Our Grand Bahama and Family Island airlifts are going to be getting significant attention. We intend to grow them 15% over 2023 numbers through unique airlift strategies, not only commercial airlift, but we are looking again at innovations in airlift. How do we put seaplanes in the waters of Exuma? How do we take our vertical airlift, our helicopters, and bring again luxury clients into our far-fetched family islands? Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to increasing airlifts, we intend to grow overall seat capacity. Last year, we welcomed some 17 new or returning airlines and routes to Nassau and Paradise Island, 17. This year, we intend to grow that over 5%. We want to give added seat capacity. And so for the first 3 months in this year, we're very pleased that we have already carved out agreements with 5 airlines for airlift, new airlift, in the first quarter of 2024, including American Airlines that just went into Governor's Harbor 3 weeks ago. And next week, we actually having Silver Air direct into Nassau and direct again into Marsh Harbor, Abaco from West Palm Beach. So we're working again in LFGO. We have our work cut out for us. But you'll get support again from all of our legacy carriers and persons who are in this room today. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, when it comes to increased airlift connectivity, you will see that we are launching this year our aviation innovation strategy. We are focusing on domestic schedule and charter operations. And so we want every domestic carrier to know that you have a seat at the table. And not just with international foreign carriers matters, but in the Bahamas, domestic carriers matters also. So we're giving you a seat at the table, Western Air, and Southern Air, and Flamingo Air, and Pineapple Air, and all of our domestic carriers, and our charter operators. And we want you to feel our support behind you this year. We are also launching amphibious airlift strategy. We spoke about it before. Our water landing, you saw a video with Coco, Bahamas. Our vertical airlift, so that during times of disaster, we are able to quickly mobilize medical helicopter and airplane evacuation, and also how do we improve the use of drones when it comes again to innovating airlift in our 2024 calendar year. These are exciting times for airlift, and so again, I was very pleased to announce the members of our airlift innovation team, and we expect improvements and innovations in airlift this year. I hasten, ladies and gentlemen, to a conclusion with just 2 or so minutes left on my time. We are going to, this year, improve operational efficiency and financial resilience. Over the course of the next several months, we are going to be establishing our 2024 Working Action Plan for each of the 8 aviation agencies. They'll be clearly linked to the sector. Our big-ticket items, they'll have SMART goals. They'll ensure that they are strategically aligned with the government's mandate and that they drive accountability, and that we have at least one person in each of the agencies identified as an aviation strategic champion. This person will be accountable to driving the performance and the outcome of the goals outlined in our 2024 strategic plan. You will see this year that we are drafting comprehensive business plans, and we're working again with Bahamas Air. Qatar was over here the other day. Bahamas Air is well ahead. We're looking at Nassau Flight Services, the Airport Authority, and FAD, and they are all developing business plans around operational efficiency, optimizing revenue, and enhancing user experience for the next fiscal year. We're focusing on audits. We are making sure that through CAB, we are collaborating around being ready for audits, and that we are complying again with ICAO, our standards and best practices. We're working with all of our stakeholders, because together, when we collaborate, we will always ensure that there is a successful result. And then, ladies and gentlemen, traffic management. Deputy Prime Minister made it very clear that we must do all to improve operational efficiency when it comes to strengthening air traffic management. This past year was probably one of the best year we would have had in managing traffic during peak times. So would you agree? Nah, yes, if you agree, FPOs, we agree to that. This has been a long-standing complaint. We dreaded the Easter period. We dreaded peak times. We dreaded being in a queue where we were 14 in departure, burning fuel. Ladies and gentlemen, progress comes not through just talk, it comes through planning. And so we are expanding our traffic management plan, collaborating with BANSA, NAD, CAB, Airport Authority, Bahamas Air, AAIA, and our FBOs. And we're expanding today our congestion subcommittee, Congestions Air Traffic Management. So I'm pleased again that Anthony Hinsey from Odyssey and Mr. Brian Wilson from BANSA and others from the air traffic, Frank Walker from NAD, Jonathan Hanna, thank you again, Vice President for NAD, Anthony Hamilton, Beto, Esmond Johnson, the AOC, Len King from BANSA, Oris Designate, Charles Bowe, Jet Aviation, Peter Rutherford, Airport Authority, and Captain Paulo Cartwright, the Captain Cartwright, again, has consented to be a part of our congestion subcommittee. Ladies and gentlemen, these 5 big-ticket items will drive our success in 2024. But success is a team sport. It is never achieved in isolation. In order for us to achieve, we must be laser-focused on our SMART goals. We must be laser-focused on not just collaboration, but cooperation among all of our aviation agencies and those who are committed to supporting what we do. Deputy Prime Minister has made it clear that not only ought we to work smarter or harder, we ought to work smarter. So this year you will see that we are implementing technology, things such as the implementation of artificial intelligence, other technological innovations, to customize experiences, track flights, connect aviation ecosystems. All of you will be a part of what we seek to do. We hope that you remain connected. We hope that you would give us your support. Again, we go back to the QR code. We hope that you would sign up and that you would ensure that you are part of our distribution list. So at the end of the vote of thanks in closing, we're going to put the screen back up with the QR code. I want all of you to not just scan it, but to sign up to be a part of the newsletter, to also ensure that when our social media handles come out there, that you like it, you follow it, and that you share it. I'm extremely proud to, and yet humbled to serve again as the Director of Aviation. But I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that with great power comes great responsibility. And my lifelong conviction remains that if you are too big to serve, you are too small to lead. So it is my pleasure to serve you and to serve alongside all of you as we advance again the goals and the mandate of the Governor of the Bahamas, our Deputy Prime Minister, our Minister of Tourism, Investments, and Aviation, and those charged again with making it not just better in the Bahamas, but making it, in the words of our Minister of State, the best in the Bahamas. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.